what I see from your content and what I've seen on your Instagram, you've turned it into a positive, and that's just really inspiring to me. And I'm trying to find people that are inspiring other nurses to see kind of what's going on, and that's not our only option. That's not the only way. So yeah, I just wanted to bring you on here and hear your story and just start me from the beginning. Like, you're an ER nurse, right?
Yeah. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My story from the beginning.
From the beginning, wherever you want to start.
Like you, I mean, I was looking you up earlier too. I was an ER nurse too. That was the majority of my career. But I started in the ICU and I burned out. And then I went to the ER, I burned out there. And somewhere in between, I was like, I need to look for other ways to do things. So I started making content online. I'm really into personal development and like interpersonal communication. So the very first pieces of content I ever put on was just like how to talk to people in healthcare, because people in healthcare don't know how to talk to each other. We're kind of mean to each other.
We are.
So that's how I started making content, but no one really wants to consume that content. Like, oh, how to talk to people better. Yeah. So I just experimented and started making funny content. And that's where I got a lot of my attention on social media when I started making skits in 2020. And I became a travel nurse during the pandemic, as a lot of us did. But that's where I realized that I was burning out every time. Every 6 months to a year, I'd change hospitals. And because you're in fight or flight mode when you're traveling, you forget. Have you been a travel nurse before?
I did the same thing as you.
Yeah.
End of 2020, I started traveling.
Yeah, same.
And oh my God, every 3 months, it's like, where am I going to live?
Yeah, exactly. So you're worried about all these other things. Where am I going to live? Who am I going to hang out with? There's what's my new hospital like, that you forget that, hey, this job, there's a lot of crappy parts to this job. And when I was done with traveling, which, you know, it's tiring looking for a new place, new hospital every few months. I was going to settle down, or I did settle down as a staff nurse, but I was like, I don't think I'll be happy here. And my way out personally was medical sales and content creation. I did medical sales the last couple of years, which is amazing. I recommend anyone
what is medical
to get
sales?
into this.
Yeah, tell me.
So for me, it was home infusion sales, where if you need to be on home antibiotics at home, or if you need to be home antibiotics for 14 days, right? But you're a walkie-talkie. So you need a PICC line, but you don't need to be in the hospital because it's just IV antibiotics. There are pharmacies and companies that provide the service of putting the PICC line in and following you while you get your IV antibiotics and shipping you the IV antibiotics while you're at home.
Nice.
And they need to learn, like if you don't have any medical background, you need to learn how to use your PICC line. And then the only people who can teach how to use your PICC line, nurses. So you need a license. So I did that for 2 years, just teaching people how to use your PICC lines.
That's so awesome.
It was dope.
It's like such a change from the emergency room.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's
the ER is crazy.
Yeah. When I left nursing, I was a waitress. For a second, I was like, I need out of the field. I was like, I just need a second because I got really sick. And so, but I was like, oh my God, we can do anything.
Yeah.
Like I could go back to nursing and do anything. But in my mind, I was like, I'm an ER nurse. That's what I am. You know, that's what I went to school for. So it took like leaving the ER and seeing that there's other things out there.
When did you leave the ER?
I left in 23.
Okay. And what was that like for you?
No, May of 24. Never mind. Later. It was heartbreaking for me. I think I went through a whole grief. Yeah. Like, I had to grieve this thing that I worked so hard for. And then just the reality of this isn't what I thought it was going to be, you know? I had to grieve that reality too. So that was hard.
You had to grieve your old identity.
Yeah. And I never even knew that's what was happening. I was just like, why am I a failure, you know? But it's like, no, you're not a failure. Yeah. You just identify as an ER nurse, or you identify as a certain nurse or a nurse.
What part of you felt like a failure? Where did that come from?
My family. I think I'm realizing, and it's so funny, I saw your content. You were talking about how you know, your family pushes you, and it's like, yeah, they put this pressure. Like, if you don't get an education, you're dumb. If you don't
Yeah.
succeed at a certain job,
Yeah.
nurse, doctor, lawyer, you're dumb.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that's why I went to being a waitress. I was like, I'm going to prove that I'm not dumb. I can still make a living and I can be happy. And it's like, oh, yeah, I can do anything. Like, you know.
Yeah,
we
you
can
went
do
from
anything.
ER to being a waitress.
Yeah.
That's wild. I haven't heard
Yeah.
that before.
And then now I'm doing IV hydration now, but
Yeah.
I needed a break. I was like, I don't know what's
Sure.
happening, you know, like, but being a waitress actually opened my eyes to how sick our population is. I was like, oh, I did not realize even as a nurse how sick we are just as a country. And it just
100%.
opened my eyes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
seen your recent post. I was looking at your recent post about nutrition. I
Mhm.
100% agree with a lot of it
Yeah.
because it's like, especially in the ER. I think there's one you said when you go to the ER, it's like, here, take a pill.
Yeah.
It's never change your lifestyle. Well, it is. They say change your lifestyle, but people don't.
It's
People
just
don't change their
words.
lifestyle.
I
Yeah.
think it's just words that they teach us. Because I don't know if you had this when you would discharge people, but people would be like, so what do I do? And they're like, and I would be like, okay, you follow up with GI and
Yep.
take these pills and
Yes.
do this and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And they're like, but I just don't feel, but it's just never ending. You know, you just
Yeah.
go to a referral and then you take a pill and then you go to a different, it's never ending.
Yeah, I've been there. I always think, where do these patients go after we discharge them, especially from the ER? Because
Yeah.
all the standard discharge instructions is, here, take these pills and then follow up with your PCP.
Yeah.
And if they have additional questions, it's like, yeah, just follow up with your
We got no
PCP.
answer. That we follow a script basically.
Yeah, and it sucks, but it's like, it's not on us. I had
No.
to wrestle with that for a while. It's like, I want to do more for these people, but I have 10 more people for this room, 10 different
Yeah.
patients lined up for this room.
Yeah. And it's like it's designed that way.
It's
And it's
yeah, it's
no
designed.
one's fault. It's like it's not the doctor's fault. It's not
Yeah.
the nurse's fault. It's literally the people that designed, one, our healthcare system, and two, even nursing school. You know, it's like all designed together, and it's like nobody's fault.
Yeah,
And
it's the
yeah,
system for sure,
it's
100%.
the system.
And it's
Yeah.
really, really sad.
It is. It is. But I feel like through us, through content, like you're making change, you're inspiring people. Like, I think the only way to create change is to inspire people to change
Yeah.
and tell our stories and tell others that it's okay to, you know, I think we've all been assaulted somehow. I saw that,
Yeah.
you know, the way you left nursing, you were held at knife point?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
what?
a knife got pulled on me in the ER.
Yeah, tell me about that.
That was probably one of the wildest nights of my. Oh, yeah. So it was
Yeah.
when I settled down in the Bay Area, and if, as you know, are you in the where are you located?
I'm in Nevada, northern
Okay.
Nevada, so close
Yeah.
to, but I traveled in the Bay Area.
Okay, so as you know, the highest paid nurses in the world, Bay Area, right? And I was excited to do a staff job there, but one of my last shifts as a traveler, a patient got really mad at me because I wouldn't give him water while he was actively throwing up. And as you know, if someone's actively throwing up in the ER, you can't give him water. It's like rule number 1. You might
Yeah.
aspirate and die.
Yeah.
And of course, I told him this. I'm like, sir, I can't give you water. Can't give you water. But he got really mad, and after I got his blood work, he pulled a knife on me. And luckily for me, I had those, what is it? The panic buttons.
Oh, on you?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it was a fancy hospital.
Wow.
Luckily for me, I had a panic button. Unluckily for me, the panic button didn't work when I pressed it.
Of course.
So nothing.
Of course.
Nothing
When
happened.
does it ever?
Yeah. So, but I was calling for security, and the patient luckily de-escalated as soon as he saw me calling for security. He didn't like try to stab me or anything like that. But it was kind of a wake-up call because, I mean, as we know, in December, you know, that whole San Francisco thing, someone actually got stabbed.
Yeah.
But for
The
me, it was
social worker, I think.
yeah, the social worker.
Yeah.
So that was a wake-up call for me. Like, thankfully, nothing happened to me. But and I went to my manager there, and they kind of like laughed it off. they laughed it off, and I was like, they literally laughed. They're like, yeah, that's the ER. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but my panic button didn't even work. It's like they didn't really care.
Yeah.
And that was one of the shifts that really I was like, no, I can't put my body on the line like this anymore. And then another time, which is the next day, which is one of my last shifts, if not the last shift, I was helping a 400-pound patient get into the car, and then their legs buckled, and all their weight was on me, and I was literally like squat, like in chair position, just pushing up against this patient, and
Oh my
I was like,
God.
you know how you don't feel it at first, but you're like, oh, I'm gonna feel that tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And I thought I hurt my back really badly, but I didn't.
Gosh.
I got away like, and people came, like 4 or 5 people came because it was a really heavy patient. But that, again, I came away unscathed. But those were my last 2 shifts in the ER. After that, I was like, no, I can't be doing this.
Wow.
And I decided against being a staff nurse in the Bay Area, even though it was like triple digits.
I
Triple digits.
know, it's insane. Yeah.
And people think it's insane that I walked away, but I was like, for my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, I can't do this.
No, and it's kind of disheartening because this isn't happening in other countries. You know, like to be blunt, the obesity epidemic and having these patients that are so overweight, they, and we're expected to, handle this ourselves and hurt ourselves. And instead of being like, hey, this can't happen anymore, we need to correct our lifestyle. We need to start changing some things because this isn't working. You're here maybe every week or every month, these patients come in, and it's just disheartening to me because it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, super disheartening, especially when we put our bodies on the line like that. And it's just dismissed. Same thing with like getting assaulted. It's dismissed with just part of the job.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't lift the patient correctly. Oh, you didn't use the lift team. Oh, you didn't use the Hoyer lift. And it's like, oh, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And then it sucks. And if you're out there putting a patient in their car for 30 minutes, you have 4 other patients. Like,
you
what
don't know
happens
if they're okay.
Yeah. It's just like systemically, it's such a bad system. And I really think that every person who's a nurse has a heart that wants to give and to help people. But we're put in this system that we just can't do that.
Yeah. And I think this day and age with social media, I think we have the power to create our own system. We could, create a channel of nurses like you, like me, and talk to each other and share what we're doing, the same way you're doing it. And in that way, we'll create a new system for people to actually be able to help others the way that they go into nursing thinking. And then they don't have to live, every day just dreading the next shift and dreading, to even get up in the morning. It's like at points I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to wake up. I'm
I don't want to go to work.
freaking tired.
Yeah.
Nobody is happy.
Yes.
Nobody feels satisfied.
Yes.
Both nurses and patients. I'm like, don't even lie to me. You're not happy. I can predict you're not happy.
I agree with that 100% because every hospital, sounds like you've traveled quite a bit. I traveled to 10 different hospitals. It's the same conversations we're all having. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
And it's beyond like, oh, it's just a bad day at work. Like, no, everyone at every nurse's station is talking about, hey, this job really sucks. Like, what else can we do?
Yeah. It's almost as if we've trauma bonded, which is okay because you need to bond over this traumatic stuff that we see and everything. But it's like a shared suffering instead of wanting to break out of it, instead of wanting to do so, like you're capable. We can change things. Maybe not within that system, but
yeah. So what is your vision when it comes to change? Because I've been following you since we followed each other, and it's very interesting. So I want to see what you have to say.
I have a endless vision. You know, every day I come up with something that I'm like, okay, we'll just keep implementing baby steps, you know?
Yeah.
So me, I want just awareness by all, awareness that
Yes.
our country is sick. It's just not normal to have this many sick people.
Yeah.
I want awareness that our nurses are being abused. I want awareness that I just want awareness and truth. I want everyone to just, it's okay to have differences, and every hospital, every nurse, you might see something different. You have different communities, you have a different population, but we're all feeling the same thing. So it's, I feel like the nursing community is really divided somehow. You know, either you believe
Yeah.
in the system or you're
Yeah.
out of the system, you know,
Yeah.
but we somehow have to kind of merge some opinion that is, you know, shared in order for something to change. That's
Yeah,
kind of where I'm
definitely.
at.
And definitely awareness is for sure the first step, right? Because people don't know how bad it really is. People
Yeah.
have some sort of idea, and it's hard with non-healthcare friends because they think, oh, it's just a job, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's just so much more than that. Like we are tested mentally, physically, emotionally every single day with someone else's physical, emotional, mental health, and that's all on who? That's all on the nurse. Like
Exactly.
handle it, and it's like what? And if you mess up, guess who goes down?
The
You.
nurse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so messed up.
It is. And so yes, the first step is awareness. The second step, I think, is getting our voices together, going like everyone online, just
Yeah.
go for it, say
Yeah.
it. You don't have to call out hospitals.
Yes.
You don't have to call out specific things to harm your license.
Yep.
Just say what's happening,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that's what nurses are scared of.
Yeah.
And from what I talk to people are like, well, I don't want to lose my job. It's not
Yeah.
worth it. I have a family,
Yeah.
and I think that's the huge thing that we need. It doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to be like, this exact hospital did.
Yeah.
You just start talking, because the
Yeah.
public doesn't know. The public thinks either, you know, they have multiple opinions of nurses.
Mm-hmm.
But until people speak the truth of what they see, in my opinion, that's where the big change will happen. And that's what I've noticed with my platform is
Yeah.
I'm just saying what I saw, like what happened to me, what I see, what I think is the truth. And people are like, oh, you know, and then other people are like, oh my gosh, I see the same thing. And I just
Yeah.
think we need more
I think. Do people DM you about their stories?
all the time. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
oh my
think-
God.
I think because not everyone has platforms and voices. Obviously, like you and I do. So I think maybe, and I'm just brainstorming here. Maybe having like not you or anyone, just like have somewhere where they can send letters and stories
Yeah.
of like what they're seeing, right? Because I do hear that people are like, I have all these ideas and I have all these opinions, but I'm scared to lose my job. I'm scared for people to find me. And you see it online, right? People are losing their jobs for speaking up, trying to advocate for themselves, trying to advocate for their patients, which is really messed up. And
It's
they lose their
awful.
jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a real thing. So it's a real fear to have, but it's a fear that I think the system puts on to keep running the same. So
Yeah, to keep us quiet.
yeah. So we'll
Right.
fire you because, you know, we can afford to hire another
Yeah,
nurse, but
absolutely.
we're choosing not to, you know,
that,
so
that's short staffing like broke my heart. Like every single shift, especially night shift, it's like, oh yeah, we can hire more nurses. And you see it, you're like, if we just had one more nurse, if we just had one more nurse for the shift, like everyone's mental health, everyone's physical health will just be so much better. All the patients will get better taken care of. Just one more nurse, one more
Yeah.
staff member, one more secretary, one more ER tech. But they choose not to. And it's like, oh, like, and you bring it up, and what happens?
bye.
Nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Or they fire you.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's a bad, evil culture that I think needs to be like talked about. But yeah, I started like a community for nurses, like a private community where they can tell their stories, and this was just a few days ago.
Oh yeah, tell me
So-
about that. I was looking on your page. It's through
Yeah.
What is system? IO?
System.io. Yeah, yeah. But it's
Some,
just a community and of nurses that it's private, so nobody can see it. And if
yeah,
anyone ever, started, I don't know, doing things that aren't appropriate in the community are obviously going to be kicked out. But
sure.
it's for people that are ready to share their story
Yeah,
and need a safe spot to say it because it is a scary thing and
nice.
who knows, what corporations will go to an extent to do. But yeah, so I started that a few days ago, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I just want to keep trying, building, exploding, telling the truth with people. And I think that's our way out, digging our way out of a hole.
That's our way out.
I think so.
Like talking about it.
I think truth is our way out.
Truth is
I
the way
think
out.
just, yeah, what do you think?
So, I mean, this is something I've been grappling with for like the last 6 years. It's like or last 10 years as a nurse. So we have this system that does not have our backs. We have this system that does not have our patients' backs and is obviously taking advantage of our physical labor. So what do we do? For me, personally, what I preach is agency. Or people have a choice to stay in the system. People have a choice to not stay in the system. IV hydration, medical sales. For me, people have this choice to make a move that not only is one better for their mental health, but better for all aspects of their being. If
Yeah.
everyone's so unhappy, then why aren't people making more moves? And I think a lot of it is they just don't have the information or they just don't know what to do next. So kind of similar on the same path as you is like awareness, bringing awareness that hey, there are other routes that you can use your license. You don't have to quit nursing. You don't have to be an influencer. You can still have control of your life, but you don't have to be slaving away at bedside. There's no other way to say it. We feel like
Yeah,
that sometimes, right?
absolutely.
And I really want to empower people that they can make the change, but they just don't know how, and it's scary. I think, and that's I feel like that's always been my message since I make started making content, especially when I became a travel nurse. In 2020, it was a lot more lucrative to be a travel nurse, but I was telling people, hey, there's this opportunity, you should take it. Like get out of your comfort zone. And even though the travel hype has died down a lot, I think people should still get out of their comfort zone, not necessarily travel, but maybe, hey, you're so unhappy at this job. And if you're happy with your nursing, that's good. It's good for you. That's your career path. But I want to speak to the people who are unhappy and want to do something about it, but don't. And I think they should just take a step towards doing something about it.
Absolutely. So when people come to you, what's like a common thing that they say or what's
Oh,
their
yeah.
common problem?
I've been doing a lot of audience research with my audience, and a lot of people are burned out. A lot of people, you know, pretty much the same thing that you and I have just been talking about. They go through a very traumatic or stressful situation at their work, whether it's getting injured, whether it's getting their back injured, whether it's a patient hurting them or something wrong with the equipment, and they don't have any support from management, from their coworkers, and they're very frustrated. And people open up very vulnerable situations to me in the DMs, and sometimes I'm like, "Yo, like I'm not equipped for this. I'm just just a guy who makes funny content on the internet." So it really sheds some light that people don't have that support, whether it's through therapy, whether it's maybe a support system of people who understand what they're going through. I'm lucky enough to have like a lot of nurse friends, but I can see people who do not have nurse friends and they don't have an outlet for them to talk about what they're going through. And if you keep that bottled up, it just becomes unhealthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people just don't know what to do. So that's what a lot of people, like, what did you do to get out? And for me, it was obviously content creation and medical sales. And I tell people that. So a lot of people are just looking for information on like, hey, how'd you get out of nursing? But some people don't want to take the financial haircut, which I understand
Yeah.
because people have families to feed. And for me, I don't have a wife, I don't have kids. I definitely know that's coming from a place of privilege. Like someone just DM'd me the other day. He got hurt on the job, but he's the single income provider for a family of 6. I can't even imagine that, and that's probably
No.
what a lot of people are feeling. I have to
Yeah.
put bread on the table. This
I think
job
it
sucks.
is.
So I don't even know how to respond to that, right?
I agree. And sometimes I'm like, you know, I tell them what I did and I say the truth is like, because same, I don't have kids. I'm not married. I have a partner, but he's the reason I was able to just do waitressing, you know. If I needed to pay full bills and everything, I would not have been able to leave my job as a bedside nurse. But now saying that, now in my life that I'm past that, you know, hump of I left the bedside, there is ways to make as much, if not more, once you're like healed from
Yes.
the trauma.
Yes.
You need like maybe a year away from the bedside to even think about how to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
And to be
year from
independent.
bedside. I like, yeah, you've been talking about being healed on your Instagram. I really resonate with that because
Yeah.
there is a lot of healing to do once you're out of bedside.
I agree. And I think we're all traumatized. Like every nurse,
Yeah.
no matter where you work. If you work in a sniff, you're
Yeah.
traumatized. If you work on med-surg, you're traumatized. Like
Yes.
everywhere.
Especially, yeah. I'm a huge
And
advocate for med surg nurses. They get
oh my God.
that end of the stick all the time. So
I
shout out
could
to all the
never.
med surg
For
nurses.
real. I agree. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so it's like bringing up so many thoughts for me.
Bring
Like
up thoughts.
it's so nice to talk to someone who gets it, and I think that's why our content resonates with people, because people just see that we all get each other,
Yes.
you know, and they want
Yes.
the way out, but do
Yes.
they want to take the steps?
Yeah.
You know, do you want to take the steps out?
Yeah.
Do you want to see better? Do you want to feel better? Do you want to,
Yeah.
yeah.
And some people don't. They just want to stay in that, right?
They do. They're comfortable.
They're comfortable. And that's why I always preach, it's going to be a big change. But if you can handle codes in the ER, you can handle like switching jobs.
Yeah.
But like you and I were talking about earlier, there does come an identity shift, an identity grieving, because coming from being a badass ER nurse, which I felt like I was a badass ER nurse, and I think you were too, into situations where you're like, oh, like, no, I don't touch codes. I don't, it gets kind of weird. And you're
It
like,
does.
who am I without that identity of like, I can handle anything that walks through that door. And all of a sudden, like for me, like, all I'm doing is just teaching patients when I became a medical, and when I joined home infusion sales. But I think it's totally worth it. And
Me too.
to just take that step away. And there's different ways to make money online. This is something I help with nurses now too, is how do you make money online through content creation? And there's so many different ways. Podcasting, brand deals. And it's what I wish someone told me like 6-7 years ago. But not everyone's cut out to make content, which I totally get.
Yeah. Yeah. But even then, there's so many. You don't even have to show your face, but
Yeah.
even without content, there's still so many ways to make money in life,
Yes, for sure.
And although you went to nursing school, if the worst thing in the world is that you're not doing a nursing job anymore because you're not happy, then that's the worst thing that could happen, for your own happiness, for your own sake of, not burning yourself out every day and in fight or flight mode or freeze mode. I was always in freeze. I was like,
Are you a freeze?
I'm a freeze. I'm also a flight.
Yeah.
I will run.
Yeah. I think it's a spectrum. Sometimes I'm all three, right? Especially in the ER. Oh man.
Oh, I would fight.
Right? Depending on the
Oh,
situation.
yeah. I was ready to go.
Yeah. Man. If I didn't know the situation, like I remember my first code, I froze. I melted into the wall. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because everyone was doing everything for me, and it was my patient. And I was like, I don't know what to do. But then
It is
when
a
I
freeze.
when I became better at the ER, and one day I was like, oh man, I ran that code pretty well. It's a good feeling. I love codes. Probably one of my favorites.
God. I ran to them. I was like,
Me too.
code? I'm here.
Same.
What do you need?
Same.
Put me to work.
But that was like, what, 1% of our job?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But even then, I go deeper. Like, my mind goes deeper with those codes and with these patients.
Deeper.
Deeper as in, I just feel like I never saw or I never questioned why so many people were sick. Like, I always come back to this subject. Like, I never saw it. I helped so many sick people, you know, and I transferred them to the ICU, and I watched them die, and I followed their care, and I really wanted the best for them, but it was such a small percentage. And now that I'm away from it, I ask why more often, you know, why were there so many sick people? Why are there young people having heart attacks? Why? And that's where I'm at on my journey. I'm like, I'm getting down to the why, you know. And
where has that been bringing you to?
Just our food system is hurting our society, I think.
100% agree with that.
And just the things I've been coming up with lately is, you know, why aren't we more mad about it as nurses? You know, why aren't nurses more aware and upset about this? Because it directly affects why we're getting our asses kicked, why, you know, we're getting taken advantage of. You know, they're making money off of, one, people being sick, and two, us suffering, you know. And
especially the pharmaceutical industry, 100%.
And the insurance companies.
Yeah. Oh, insurance is such a scam.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm in between jobs right now. Or not in between jobs. I work for myself, but I had to buy insurance, and I had to pay $500 a month. That's the lowest.
Yeah.
That is the lowest.
That's a scam to me. And I'm like, you could pay less for like those doctors that you just, you know, text whenever you need to, concierge or whatever. Concierge, yeah. And in a sense, it sounds more expensive, and I get in like an emergency situation, you know, you would have to pay out of pocket, but to have a concierge doctor is cheaper than to have insurance. Yeah. And it's like, if you're a healthy person, this insurance is a scam. It's a total...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, even if you're not healthy, right? Like, I know some people, they don't want to get admitted because they can't afford it. Especially the uninsured. Man, that breaks my heart every time people have heart attacks in the ER. Like, I got to go home. I'm like, what do you mean you got to go home? You just had a heart attack. And like, I got to go to work. Like, what?
And that's our culture in America.
Yeah.
It's not like that in like any other country, maybe a few other countries, but it's like, no, everyone is so sick because we're just working, eating poor food. Our food is very poor diet, you know. It's I don't know, it's frustrating.
It's super frustrating. Yeah. And it can bring you into a black hole, which I have too. Like, because we're talking about that family of 6. It's like, what if I had all these comorbidities and I have to go to work and I'm too sick to even take care of myself. Yeah. I have to take these 10 pills. You know, we're doing MedRex in the ER. Oh, I'm on all these pills. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's shocking.
It is. Yeah. So it's a matter of getting people off pills, I think, and figuring out how to educate the population better. And I think the thing that is lacking in our society as a whole is just general health education for people, general wellness, you know, so they don't end up in the ER with a stomach ache, you know. I think 60% of what I saw in the ER was abdominal pain. It's like, yeah, for sure. All we saw. And I don't know what it is, or diverticulosis, you know, or our food is just causing these problems in our people.
Diet, for sure. Yeah. Huge factor that we don't even, that standard American diet, it's just terrible for us. Yeah. And it takes so much effort to eat healthy. It takes so much effort to take care of yourself physically. and it's expensive. And again, coming from a place of privilege, not everyone can research what's healthy for me. Not everyone can cook a home cooked meal. They'll have to, because it's easier to just go to McDonald's, spend $1 on a burger, $1. I get why people are doing it. You know, I have mouths to feed at home. I'm busy with work. What's the easiest? What is the path of least resistance? And I think that's what most Americans, most people take. And that, unfortunately, the path of least resistance is the path of most unhealthy.
Yeah. Because they're giving the system that provides the help is giving them the resource of what's making them sick. And then they end up in the emergency room or we're at a doctor's office utilizing the system that is, not telling them how to get better, and I was just thinking this today. I was like, man, it's actually super inexpensive to eat good food, like have a good diet. It can be inexpensive if you just choose simple things. Like I had to downsize so much when I left my job in the ER. I was travel nursing, so I was like, man, I'm eating out all the time. I'm a queen. I'm living so good.
Relatable.
For real.
Relatable.
I was a freaking queen, but I got sick. And I truly think that whatever is happening with our food, whether it's the oils or what they're spraying on our crops or whatever, is causing problems in us because I felt it in myself. And then when I went to being a waitress and I had to go down to spending $100 a week on groceries for 2 people, I realized, oh, this is doable. I buy some fruit. I buy some sweet potatoes, some vegetables, maybe some ground beef. I couldn't afford steak at the time, so I would just buy ground beef and eggs and, bacon and just basic things that I feel like we got away from I don't know why. I just feel like
Whole Foods is definitely where it's at.
Yeah.
But it does take that extra step sometimes, right?
It does.
To go and go to the Whole Food section and then prepare it in a way that is appetizing. And our brains are, the fast food industry has hijacked our brains, just like these apps have hijacked our dopamine for our phones.
Yeah. They've taken they've given us convenience and convinced us that is, easy, when it's actually super easy to make food, but the convenience, the brain goes, that's convenient.
Mm-hmm. Path of least resistance.
Yeah.
I did keto for a while. I don't do that anymore because it's unhealthy. But when you're on keto, you kind of, obviously you're monitoring what's in the sugar. And then it wasn't until I did keto where you realize sugar is in everything. Like sugar is not just in dessert. It's in breakfast. It's in meats.
Yeah.
It's in sauces for the main course, for the appetizer, and of course for the dessert. You're just having sugar.
Yeah.
24 hours a day. And not that there's any, there's definitely bad sugars, right? Like high fructose corn syrup. That's in everything. It's crazy.
Yeah. And even they're starting to put, fake sweeteners, which is marketed as okay, but actually it's showing in studies that it's damaging the body still somehow. It's still either fake spiking the sugar or damaging the vessels and I just think, yes, sugar is purposely put in everything here. Because when you go other places, the Whole Foods is just the food they eat. There isn't many other option. The sauces you make at home, and it's just crazy to me. And I want to get back to where we can, I don't know.
Yeah.
As a nursing culture, be able to give this diet education and not be looked at like, oh, you're a crazy person, give me a pill,
Yeah. I think I read somewhere where you're considered crazy for trying to be healthy, right? And it's kind of like backwards. It's like, well, you're just not eating healthy.
Yeah, it's like it's not even not healthy. It's just literally what food does for a human body,
or what food is.
Yeah, Food, it should be like a love language.
Yeah.
It should nourish you.
Should
And
nourish you.
we're
Absolutely.
just malnourished.
I think we're
Malnourished.
malnourished. Absolutely. And how we eat is how our brains operate, right? It depends so much on our diet, how well we feel, how well we function. And yeah, every day I've been trying to practice gratitude more, and every day I'm just thankful for, my body and for my health, and I try to take care of it. And I think more people should try to do that. And if people don't know how to take care of their bodies, then I think, like you said, we should educate them. But I wouldn't know where that's come from, because there's so much we can do, and there's also so much that we can't do, right? And I think trying to educate everyone about nutrition, I think, is very important. That's just not, I don't think that's my lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And people have to choose what they want, you know?
Yeah.
They have to choose that. But yeah. So what else do you offer, like, nurses when they contact you? What's your process?
My process when they contact me?
Yeah, let's say they're like, I'm burnt out. Because I saw one of your posts, you nailed it, everything
Yeah.
that, like, we feel, like the
Yeah.
anxiety before a shift, crying after the shift. Like,
Yeah.
so when they contact you, is it like, do you do one-on-ones? What do you provide?
I find out where they're at first. Where are you burned out? What's going on? You want to leave bedside. I kind of get a rough sense of why they're feeling the way they do, the stressors they have at work, how long they've been a nurse. Then I see where is it that I can help them or what they're trying to do. I have a background in medical sales, so I can say, hey, that's what I know, medical sales. Here are some resources. And then some people are like, well, I don't want another job. Because me personally, I did medical sales. It was 9 to 5. I was miserable. It was a great job. But I didn't like working for someone else. I wanted to do my own thing, right?
Yeah.
And that, me being miserable, I take it as a sign. Like, what is going on within me that I'm so miserable, even though I have this cush job where all I do is just educate patients. So if they want information on that, I give it to them. But they're like, no, I want to do something else where I want to build something that's my own. And then that's when I start telling them, okay, well, I can teach you how to, what I know, be a content creator for the last 6-7 years. I can teach you how to monetize. And I've monetized so many different ways through merch, through like putting phrases on shirts. I've done that. Public speaking. I've been kind of on a public speaking journey, which brings you to in-person events. People will pay you if you have a story that's worth telling and worth listening to.
How do you like public speaking?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I want to know more about that.
I love it. I did stand up for a little bit, maybe a year and a half. And it's cool, but you're just telling jokes. But I feel like public speaking, I really found a place where my meaning and my expertise came together.
Okay.
So the topics I speak on, I speak on how to be a content creator and how to monetize, which is important. I speak on that because that's what I've been doing the past 6-7 years. But what really started lighting me up is I started talking about humor from my experiences doing medical skits and nursing skits and how humor heals. I have a few talks on humor and how to use humor in the workplace and how to use humor in patient education or in the hospital for therapeutic communication.
Wow.
And I have a talk coming up in May at NTI, which is the Critical Care Conference in San Diego. And I'm so excited that I got selected to speak on that topic because some part of me, especially as someone, being the funny guy the last few years, there's some part of me that had imposter syndromes, like, where's my place in this serious profession? Because everyone's so professional, everyone's so serious, especially at these nursing conferences. But
oh yeah,
I found a way to fuse what I'm good at, which is making people laugh and using humor and talking to people, and find to have my own space in the nursing community.
That's so awesome. No, it does. And it's inspiring because I want to start doing public speaking too. So I'm like, how was that journey for you? Like, how was that transition from,
Oh man,
are you
I can
naturally
talk about this
good?
all day.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Am I naturally? I would say yes. I think I had a natural inclination towards presenting and public speaking, but it wasn't until I started going to. Have you heard of Toastmasters?
Mm-mm.
Toastmasters. Oh, you got to check it out if you want to get into
Okay.
public speaking.
Okay.
Public Toastmasters is a organization, nonprofit. It's nation or worldwide. Toastmasters International, where you go and the only thing you work on is public speaking,
Okay.
and you're surrounded with people who want to get better at public speaking. So every week, and I went for like a whole year. Every week, you would show up and work on your public speaking. Some you would give speeches. But then there's the other side, which is the business side of public speaking, which is I've discovered another organization. It's called NSA, National Speakers Association, where they talk about the business of speaking, and we're talking like $5,000 a keynote, $50,000 a keynote, which
Wow.
I want to get to.
Yeah.
You know, $50,000 to talk for an hour.
About something that you're passionate about and brings you joy. Absolutely.
So that's where my vision is going, and I'm still working on it. I'm still new to public speaking, but I remember going to a nursing and business conference, an NBA, in like 2017, 2018, and I was like, I want to speak. And, you know, it took almost 10 years, but now I'm speaking at conferences. But it's like seeing something you want to do, which is public speaking, and wanting to get paid for it, and then just making small incremental steps towards it. And it wasn't linear. It was like, oh, like I love it. I'm going to apply. I don't get it. And one time I psyched myself out. I really wanted to speak at this conference. And I just got in my head and I ended up not applying. But you got to put yourself out there. I mean, you probably resonate with that because you run this Instagram page and YouTube channel. We get in our heads sometimes.
Oh my God. I just went through, when you talked about imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
I went through I had to take like a week off of Instagram and everything. I was like, I don't know who I am. I was like, what is happening?
It's important. It's important to take that time off.
It's very important. It's so important. And it changed the game for me because I was able to realize, oh, okay, reset.
Good. It's good you recognize that.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been doing this for 6-7 years. Sometimes you'll be in a season where you're off social media for a month, 2 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Until you are able to really show up for yourself authentically. I think that's so important. It's what I preach. You just got to show up authentically.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just learning that now.
Yeah,
like,
good.
Because I didn't know like what my content would turn into. I was just posting because I was like literally just is anyone else seeing this in the healthcare system? Is anyone else seeing this? And then finally people were like, yeah. I'm like, okay, let's go, you know. But yeah.
So what, can you tell me more about your journey? Like, because we just met a couple weeks ago.
I know. Yeah. So I kind of have a very similar journey to you, but in my sense, I had medical issues. So I was travel nursing, and in June of 23, I had a seizure night shift on my job.
That's so wild. I saw that post. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. And my partner, we traveled together. So he was at the hospital working that night, and I had a seizure, and I just rolled seizures. I was just status epilepticus, like, throughout the night. So they tubed me, flew me to UCSF, and I was tubed for like 4 days, and they did.
No way.
Yeah, like, and they did a spinal tap. They were trying to check me for like meningitis, and they did all these things. They kept me down for 4 days, didn't find anything, and then diagnosed me with epilepsy and sent me off with medications. And I'm just like, so this is just new onset epilepsy at 26 years old? Like, what's happening, you know? And so I went back to work, and then it took me a while to go back to work.
Yeah.
I took like 3 to 4 months off, I think, from that contract after. But then I went back on a contract in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I don't like talk about hospitals because I don't want to be defamed, and I also
Of course.
I have like legal stuff going on with them still, but
They'll come after you.
Oh, hell yeah, they will. I'm like, hell no, I'm not chancing that.
Yeah.
I'll talk about what happened, but
Yeah.
I won't chance that. But I was in Vegas and like 4 weeks into a contract, and a patient was upset. You know, the whole freaking ER was full of admits. So we were working out of the lobby. I don't know if you worked at a lot of hospitals like that, but
Yeah.
I feel like almost every ER you're just working out of the lobby because the
'Cause
whole
you're
back
backed
is
up.
just clogged,
Yep.
you know? So a patient was upset and ripped off their blood pressure cuff, like smacked me in the face, exited the building, and I just remember turning to the registration girl because she was right next to me. She sits there and like registers them. I was just in triage, and I was like, "Whoa, like, what the fuck? You know, did that just happen?" And then I threw up. I like vomited, and then I don't remember. Like I had a seizure, and I had to leave that day. And the next day, my recruiter called me and said, I've never had this before, but the hospital's canceling your contract because of the seizure. And the hospital didn't like offer any workman's comp, like anything. They didn't say like, hey, are you okay? After that,
Terrible.
you know, I went home. I don't even remember what happened that day. You know, my partner took me home because he was like, I'll just take her home after like I recovered from the seizure.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I've been on a journey since.
And so you just started posting.
So that happened, and
That's a lot, by the way. Thank you for sharing. That
of
sounds
course.
a lot.
Yeah. No, it was pretty rough. I was just confused. I was like, did that really just happen? Like, did they really cut my contract because of something that they like? What, you know?
Yeah.
But I actually went back to do another contract after that. I took like 3 months off, got myself back together. This is how much I was so dedicated to this job. I was like, I have to be a nurse, you know. I have to.
Well,
do
that's
this.
all we know, right?
Yeah.
It's part of it is easier. It's easier to show up because that's our expertise.
Exactly. We're showing up for people. We're showing up for what we worked hard for, what my family pushed me so hard to do. If I leave this job, what is my family going to think of me?
Yeah. Oh my God,
Which was a whole nother thing that I had to go through.
I could talk about that too.
Oh, good. Because we should.
Yeah.
Because when I left, I want to ask you about your story, but when I left nursing and I did waitressing, my family, I could just feel it. They're like, so are you making any money? Are you doing okay? You know, it's just these signs of like, what are you doing? Why are you just a waitress? You know, why are you just it forced me to heal that inner child that was just never believed in for anything. Like my parents, I love them to death. They didn't believe in me. They wanted me to show, I don't know, education, I guess, or show that I'm worth something through money. I don't know.
Through money or status or a job.
Yeah. So I never learned who I was until now. Yeah. I literally never learned who I was.
I feel like you were assigned a role, and then when you get out of the role, it makes other people uncomfortable because there's a script that we're all supposed to follow. And when you get out of that, and it sounds like you've gotten out of that, I have too, it makes other people uncomfortable. And sometimes, unfortunately, those people are very close to us, whether it's friends, whether it's family. When we start discovering like, hey, I don't want to be that person anymore, it changes people. Yeah.
How did your family react or did you have a...
My mom didn't understand. And I don't think she still does. But at first, she was she's always been supportive, but I can see it in her eyes. Love my mom, and I tell her everything. But she was like, why don't you just go back to the ER? You know, like she was an ER nurse, but there's this immigrant Asian mentality, Filipino mentality is keep your head down no matter what shit is thrown at you, no matter what punches or what weapons are thrown at you. You just take it. You just shut up, and that's part of the job. And me, I'm just like, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to just accept that from my life.
Yeah.
But my grandma, she sees some of my posts. She doesn't understand it. She's like in her 80s. She's like, are you unhappy with your job? Are you still a nurse? Like, no, like that's your career. Like, and she will never understand, right?
Yeah.
But I remember, how did you get into nursing? Was it through your family as well?
Yes. I wanted to be a paramedic, and I went to EMT school, and I remember telling my dad, I was like, oh my God, paramedics don't make that much money, especially where I live. It's like there's one ambulance company, and they monopolize the whole thing. And he's like, well, you need to have a career that you can fall back on for your whole life. You need to have a good career that makes you guaranteed money and blah, blah, blah. It was always, the money,
of course.
the money. Not what do you want to do? What do you want to... I don't know. It was always about money for me.
Same. And I think that's what comes from Filipino immigrant culture, right? Because times were rougher, a generation before. And I'm not blaming my parents whatsoever or my grandma. It's just they have this mindset of scarcity, which is totally fine because that's how they grew up. But it's just that same mindset doesn't work for us anymore. It's like it's antiquated.
Yeah. The mindset of the boomers and Gen X, I think we have to create our own mindset for what it turned into. Whatever they handed us off, whatever, we can blame them, or we can just say, you know what, it was handed off. Here's the baton. Yeah. And now we create our own mindset for what. Yeah. And I think
zero blame to them. It was just like it's what they knew. It's what they knew.
It's all they knew. You know, I don't blame them at all. Yeah.
Same.
But it's now our responsibility to choose what we do with what we have now.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier with the agency. It's people's choices, what to do in this this broken system with these mindsets and these roles that we inherited. We can choose to do whatever we want.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it will start changing once people see that it's possible. Yeah. I think people need to see the possibility. They need to see just normal people doing it and succeeding. And I'm just a nurse. I literally just am a nurse. Mm-hmm. You can take away the follower count. You could take away everything. I'm just a person. Yeah. And this is my story. And you're just a person. This is your story. This is, and we're just here to help people. Yes. And agreed. That's our passion and mission. And I don't think education should get like the way that it was pushed previously. I don't think that should get in the way with how we can help people. I think there's so many different ways.
I like what you said. It's like we're just normal people who have these stories, and we share these stories in hopes that we can help people. And that's exactly what I'm doing, especially in this age of AI. All the information's out there, but the only thing that differentiates you, differentiates me, differentiates people in the audience is what makes us human. And that's through our shared experiences and our shared stories, right? Like we're just talking about the generational different ideologies, that's raw, that's human experiences. And with all this AI slop that's on the internet, people can't take away our stories. AI can't take away the stories we have.
Yeah. It can't take away our humanity. Yeah. Humanity can be good. I think you have to choose to be good. Yes. And I don't know where my thought went. Okay. But okay. I get what you're saying with AI. Yeah. But we can choose to be human. We can choose to be different. Like, we don't have to accept AI the way that people are scared of it. I'm like, well, the way that we combat it is just this, because connecting and sharing and being truthful and being healers and nurses and whatever you want to call it, you know, it's
right.
Yes.
Well, it's really finding what makes us unique. I think I was talking to someone the other day, and she was a cancer survivor. She's a nurse manager, and she's a badass, but she's like, I don't know how to tell my story. I'm like, you have to tell your story because it's so inspiring and it's what makes you. But so I'm always looking for one, my own stories, you know, to share and how that can help people. And I'm also telling people to tell their own stories because our voices need to be heard. Like, your story is wild. That's wild, right? And that's hearing it. You experienced it.
Oh my God. Thinking back and just looking back, I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah,
like, I'm still coming out of it. I'm still, my brain is still like, did that happen? Like, little things every day. I'm like, what on earth?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we all have a certain extent of a story, and nothing is worse or better. And I think that's the fear of people. They're like, well, nobody's going to care. And it's a shared suffering. I think it's shared silence, shared suffering in shared silence.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think the culture that we need to break.
Agreed. And I think the silence, because there's like, oh, no one's going to care. But I would argue, if you have a story that can help people and you don't tell anyone, I think you have an obligation to the world to tell your story, to share that story.
Absolutely.
It's a responsibility, especially if you're like, oh, if you're just getting in your head about it, but someone out there will hear that story and get inspired and be, who knows, the next person to make the change. And it starts from just that story.
Yeah. No, I talk with my friends and I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much for sharing your story. Because I felt lonely until I heard that aspect of your story. And the same thing with you. When I found you online, I was like, oh my God, like I need to talk to you. I need to hear your story. It brings me comfort to connect with people and just hear about you, you know, and what you're doing. And I think humans, like, we're losing that with social media. We're losing the connection, and we're losing that ability to feel accepted, to feel human, to not fear, to belong. Yeah, absolutely.
To feel seen.
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of surprised me from that one post that you probably saw, it's that carousel, where I was just telling people how I felt, like the pre-shift anxiety, the very poor coping strategies that I had with drinking and alcohol, the patients assaulting me, and it's just how I felt. And I did not expect that so many people feel the same way. And you probably get that too. You're just telling how you felt, and people see that and they're like, that's exactly how I feel. Thank you for saying that. It's almost like giving people permission to feel.
Yeah, because we've taken it away, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Or social media took it away because everything, look at the nurse day in my life, you know, all this perfect stuff, you know? And
It's an aesthetic.
Yes. Yeah. And I saw your video, and I think it was if nursing school was like honest. Oh, yeah. Honest nursing.
Honest nursing school.
Oh my God. It was so spot on. But yes, we need more of that. Instead of walking into nursing school and they're like, I don't know if you had this experience, but my initial nursing school that I applied to, UNR in Reno, they sat us down. There was like a class of 300 that were getting ready to do their prereqs. And they're like, well, you guys probably won't be nurses. Probably like 99% of you won't make it through nursing school. So just know that now. And I was like, this is how you want to do an introduction to like, I feel like the culture just started there. I was like, wow. Everyone
nursing school culture is terrible.
And it just starts there. And I'm like,
I agree.
That should have been a red flag. But you don't know. You're just like, oh my God.
This is just how it is. I agree. I think
my head down.
I was watching you talked to a nursing instructor? Or you guys were talking about nursing school? It was a man.
Oh, that's my boyfriend. No. That's my partner.
Oh, really?
That's Matt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. You guys were talking about nursing school,
Mm-hmm.
and just like how it just does not prepare you whatsoever. And it's like you said, it's like as soon as you walk into nursing school, they kind of put you down already, and that's kind of like a metaphor for how the healthcare system puts nurses down.
Yeah.
Because like know your place, you're just a nurse. It's kind of how I felt. Versus medical schools, your first day of medical school, what do they tell them? Like, welcome to the most prestigious professions on the planet.
The most respected.
Yeah. And then for nursing school, it's like, sit down and shut up.
Yeah. It's true. We're trained to be obedient.
Yes.
From day one.
Day one.
Either you're obedient or you're not going to work out.
Yeah.
At my nursing school, there was one nursing instructor that made the anatomy test.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have her as a teacher, she made it, I'm losing my, is it objective? Where she chose the test. It wasn't from the
Subjective.
book. Subjective.
Yeah.
It wasn't from the book, it was her opinion on the book. So I didn't have her as an instructor.
Yeah.
So 75% of the people failed our class of anatomy every semester, and it was just ongoing.
And they're proud of that too. They're proud of those statistics. I don't understand that.
They're like, yeah.
I think I got held back. I got held back for a year. I failed nursing school, which was this whole other thing, and I felt terrible. But I remember they were proud. They're like, yeah, not everyone gets through because it's so hard. It's like, no, you just didn't like that. I don't fit the mold of every other nursing student out there.
Yes. I failed Med-Surg 3. I went to like a private school that was like a 2-year course, and I failed Med-Surg 3, and I was bawling. I thought it was the end of the world.
Yes.
They're like, no, people fail all the time. I'm like, this is retarded. Like, nursing school, what? You should not feel like a failure every second of your life. Like that. And they train like, obedience. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I did not like that part of it.
Yeah, me neither. But I didn't realize it until, like, I just went through it,
Yeah. And no one knows. No one knows because you're just, how do you know? You're just going through it.
Yeah. You're not supposed to. It's because it shouldn't be that way. Everyone's just going through what they think is the best thing for their future and for their family or for themselves.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on here.
Yes, it was great.
I'm so happy we connected.
Yeah, I'm happy too. This is a great conversation. We touched on so many points.
Yeah. Important points that I think other people can relate with.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. Nice.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you so much.
Of course. Yeah. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, go ahead and like it, share, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.
See y'all. Peace.